And I can tell you right now that as much as I intellectually love those first two principles, there are any number of moments, experiences, situations in my life where it's just, it's just not there. There are those moments, believe it or not, there are those occasional times when I do something and I think, how could a wise and loving being do that? How could I make some of the choices that I make sometimes? So in those moments, I'm not thinking, oh yes, I'm a child of God, I'm the truth expressing. It's like, what is the matter with you? What's wrong with you? So that's often what goes through my mind. And so I'm not always have that grip on the truth of who I am. You back your car into the neighbor's roses and you're not saying, oh, I'm just this wonderful child of God. It's like, oh. And so getting a grip so that truth of who we are is able to be active and can free us in those moments. And so to me, then, getting a grip, once again, and I'm not talking about getting a grip sort of like knock it off, get over it. And I'm not talking about getting a grip where we're tightly holding on to that hose that would choke the water off either. So I'm looking at Jesus' phrase, know the truth. And quite often, there's often in the Bible, when they use the word know, it's more than just a passing acquaintance, right? Often, especially in the Old Testament, they will say that so-and-so knew his wife, and then she was with child. So we figure that when they talk about knew, they mean something more than just he knew her name and her address, right? There was an intimate relationship there. There was an intimate relationship. An intimate relationship. And so, to me, to know the truth is to have an intimate relationship with that truth. That's not just superficial. It's not just, I can talk it really well, I can say the words, but it's having that intimate relationship. Getting a grip to me is grasping, comprehending the truth, and comprehending it in a way in which we truly understand it. We have a relationship with the truth. To get that relationship, to me, getting a grip is having that relationship. So how do we get that relationship? And to me, I see the heart of the seat of the truth in us is our hearts. And many times, that intimate relationship that I am seeking with the truth of my being is simply bridging the distance from here to here, right? Is bridging this gap. It's taking my conscious awareness and becoming aware of what's really going on in the heart of my being, what I'm really feeling, what I'm really experiencing, what I'm really valuing, what's really significant and important to me. It's bridging that gap. And the more often I pay attention to that distance, and I bridge that distance, the more intimate I become with the truth of my being. So instead of just saying, oh, how could I have done such a stupid thing as that, I go in and it's like, well, what was happening? What was I feeling? What was I trying to accomplish? And maybe I didn't make the best choice. Maybe it wasn't the most effective. But really, what was I trying to accomplish there? And begin to honor and respect the being that I am. There is a line in A Course in Miracles, for those of you who are students of A Course, you probably recognize or remember it, that it says, in order to understand anything, you first have to appreciate it. Before you understand, really grasp the truth of your being, you first have to be able to appreciate and acknowledge your being, who you are. To one of the things we say in unity, and maybe not often enough, is that we don't really believe in right and wrong in unity. And usually that gets gasped in a crowd. And no right or wrong, but what we're really saying is that everything in this universe is the truth of God seeking to express, to evolve. And sometimes our choices do not always match up and align with that perfectly. But that at the core, the heart of everything we do, we are seeking to express that love, life, and wisdom. We are always seeking that. And so to begin to let go of finding fault and assessing blame, we look to see, what is this life about? What is it up to? And so that to me is, in essence, getting a grip on who I am, getting a grip on my life. What is it about? What's going on? To me, it is addressing the needs. I was having a conversation with someone the other day who was saying how what's helpful for her at times is to remember that scripture that says to seek peace. See, there was a time when I thought that the only legitimate feelings a person could feel were joy and peace and satisfaction, and all the other feelings were wrong. It's like if I was feeling angry or fearful or anxious or frustrated, I'd think to myself, what's wrong with me? Knock it off, right? And then I realized, once I started to appreciate that those feelings are my life, communicating with me, telling me what I'm needing, pointing things out to me. It's like, hey, pay attention. Things aren't, it's sort of like, a simple example would be, you're feeling hungry. There's nothing wrong with feeling hungry. It's just your body saying, I need food. And then when you feel satisfied, it's, I have successfully satisfied my life's requirements. When you're tired, your body needs rest.